Hey guys, Curtis here with you today. Today I want to go over this bird feeder. So we have, see, I believe this is our third one here that we're going to have attached to our window. And out of the three I have, this one is definitely my favorite one. So let me go over a few reasons why. So the first one, the tray right here. On the other bird feeders I have, the tray, it slides out. And what happens is whenever a bird's sitting on here, and in our case more often is a squirrel. The squirrel seems to jump in there more than the birds do most of the time. But whenever a squirrel gets on here, they're digging around, jumping in and out of it. The tray will just slide right out. This one, on the other hand, it's in there. You see how it's not coming out. The reason it's doing that is, I'm not sure how much the cameras will pick that up. You see here there are three different little slots. And what that's doing is this actually slides, try to do this where the camera can see it, slides in and out of it like that. So right here, you can see the slots right there. You can see there's a good little gap on all three of these. And that's a relatively thick plastic right there. I mean, this is not meant to be abused or thrown around, but it's pretty thick for what it is here. And that lines up right in there. Well, normally you're not trying to do this one-handed like this, but it slides right in there and it holds it in there very securely. That right there is a huge plus for me because, again, we tend to get more squirrels than anything in these. But definitely the weight of a squirrel will just make the other ones fall out. This one here, it stays in there. Huge plus. This right here, unfortunately, we have not had the benefit of getting much use out of this, but you can kind of see where they're going. You know, a bird can kind of land right here and kind of feed in there. And I'm sure if we didn't have the squirrel issues, you know, we might get that benefit as well. Hopefully, you know, as the year goes on, maybe we'll get there. But that right there, definitely, if it's, you know, if you're in an area where a bird did land on it, that would be a cool little plus as well. But unfortunately, we haven't got the benefit of that one. The other part here is these. I actually, the first time I did this, it took me a while to figure this out. We had it put together wrong, so it didn't work. But the way this works here is, you see the suction cups right there, and there's also a plastic piece. That's plastic on the inside is hard. That's a thick, hard plastic. And this is your normal kind of rubbery suction cup part here. So whenever you press this against the window, you can go on this side, and that's loosen it there, and screwing it, it will tighten it. So that way, instead of having to just press this up against the window and hope for the best, you could actually tighten this with the screw. Let me change the angle here. The first time we did this, we actually put it together incorrectly, so we had a hard time with it. I actually didn't think it worked. Wow, there's a lot in there. All right, so this is how it's supposed to be, lined up here. And then when you tighten this, it'll actually put pressure on here. What we did the first time is we actually did it like this. So, and then whenever we tightened it, it didn't do anything. So that was a little bit of a learning curve there. But after we figured it out though, it's very nice. Again, it just kind of suctions right on there. We haven't had any issues with our other ones as far as it actually falling off of the window, but I can definitely see how that could be an issue. But this does allow just a little bit more of a sturdy kind of suction on there. Again, that's definitely gonna be a plus for some people. For us, we haven't had any issues with our other ones, but that's just a nice little neat extra added thing just to make it a little bit more sturdy, kind of mount on there a little bit better. But again, for me, the main thing was just this actually sliding in there so it didn't fall out. But anyway, I would definitely recommend this one. Again, this is our third one that we have hanging up, and all three are different. This is definitely my favorite of the three. So I hope somebody out there found this video useful, and thank you guys for watching.